Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Garage Gym Experiment podcast. My name is Adam. That's Jake, and we are back again for another great episode. On tonight's episode, Jake and I did a little home gym build, 200 square feet and $10,000. So a lot of money, little space. What do we fill it up with? We'll get to that first. After that, we're going to get a Home Gym Con update. If you've been following along, we've been filling up the space. It's been really exciting. Can't wait to update you on that. We have new products from Rep, Bulletproof Fitness, Rogue, Surplus Strength, Bells of Steel. So a lot of new products coming out. And then some survey results. Have you been influenced? Where are you buying your rower or air bike from? Let's get to those home gym builds. I didn't look at Jake's first, so.
Oh, you haven't looked at mine?
I haven't looked at mine.
This was fun. I probably took a little bit more time than I needed to. But I would say it is not the recommended way to build out a home gym. I definitely think, okay, you thought the same thing. I definitely think, you really want to just start off with a few items and build out as you go. So I spent right under $10,000. It's a loaded gym. There's definitely some weaknesses. There's definitely some strengths. And let's have people in their comments vote in the YouTube comments whose setup they like better, Adam's or mine. Like that. This is kind of the order I would buy everything in as well. So number one, I would go pretty premium on the primary barbell. I would go with stainless steel Ohio power bar. I'm in a garage. I don't really want to maintain it over time, so I'm spending a little bit more up front. And the Ohio power bar, I just haven't found anything better. I would say I've felt things that are basically the same, pretty close. But I'm going to stick with Rogue here with the Ohio power bar. Can't really go wrong. Next, I went a little budget friendly on the bumper plates, but I went with a made in America option, homegrown lifting. They are basically $1 a pound plus shipping. So I went with 500 pounds of homegrown bumper plates. They're a little thicker than a lot of people may want, but it doesn't really bother me. Next up, for the bench, this is actually something that I changed my mind on over the years and not really giving it a shot until trying it. But I'm going with the Iron Master Super Pro bench, and I actually added the curl, the leg, not the curl, but the crunch attachment where you can hold your feet for sit-ups and then for decline as well. It's just incredibly easy to wield around. It's rock solid. I've mentioned in the past, I want a beefy, durable bench for myself who's over 200 pounds. But this is just that, plus it's just so easy to use. So if I'm starting a home gym again, this is actually the bench I would probably go with. I'm going with the 105-pound rep ends. That is about $1,200. And then... And I'll say with that, I have been using the TrueLap new adjustable dumbbells, and they're really solid. But they're only a few $100s less than the Rep-Ins, and I think the Rep-Ins feel like they're going to be they're going to last better over time, and they do have a way better knurling feel. So Rep-Ins win. I've preached this for the last few years. I definitely think the 2-rack system is the way to go. One more basic and then one loaded up. So I went with the Phoenix rack with spotter arms as the basic squat rack. So this is, I wanted to go premium here, stick with a made in America company. I really wanted to do that as much as possible, but also mix in as much products as possible, and it's not possible to do that with all made in America. So I wanted a loaded up gym, but I also wanted to mix in as much of the quality products as, not that any of these are not quality, but you know what I'm saying. And then I actually went with the newest option from Force USA, the C10. So I love my Force USA G15. I use it more than anything else in the home gym. It didn't fit this 10K budget, but if it did, I would have gone with the G15. But I went the C10 because it has the stacked weights for 2 single column trainers or a functional trainer. You can use it as 2 single columns. I probably have one up and one down most of the time and use them alternating. And then also has the lat pull down and low row in the back. This all-in-one actually has quite a bit of cool all-in-one features. I did not add in the sliding bench because I kind of just see that as something that would take up another horse stall mat as well. So I actually went with the Grok leg curl / extension rather than adding that. I think that's the best value one. I have it in my gym now and pretty happy with it. So that, I think that's about that's closing in on $9,000 so far. So a few more items I would add are the rest of that budget would be the Rep Open trap bar, very versatile trap bar. I think I already have a leg machine, and with the pulleys, I won't use another bar as much as for upper body with all those pulley systems, and then that leaves kind of like a trap bar. So going with that, the Rogue Echo bike, that's the best air bike I've used for the price. I know there's a lot of other options, but nothing that I've touched has been better than that. And then just a few other like small items. So belt fed accessory strap, and then the tricep rope with ergonomic handles. So those combined are under $100. Add some versatility to the cable towers, and then I'll throw in some collars. I'll do the Titan twist lock collars. So loaded gym. I think the biggest thing that I feel like I'm missing is a 3x3 with 1-inch holes set up. But this was kind of a buy one scenario. Not really thinking about add-ons over the years.
I have to say you covered all your bases, because when you get to mine, I kind of did like the fantasy items, a couple massive items. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah,
it made me off my list, like all accessories for you'll just see in a second. So you really covered all your bases here.
All right,
cool. All right,
let's move on to you.
My list. All right, like I said, it's just going to be a big fantasy playground here. Okay. So I started with the Rep Adonis, and then I went right into building out a massive Rep PR 5000 with storage and everything involved. So then I thought I'd give some love to Rogue, who has the CTM 1, which is about priced very similar to the Adonis. So a single stack column that can do lat pull downs and a functional tower. That's the Rogue CTM. It runs about $3,000. And then I did the massive Rep PR 5000 build out. It's got the wings with storage racks on it. It's got the plate storage on the back, and then it's got the 4-post rack in front. If you build it all out, you're spending $3,700. So just in that, I've covered 6/10 of my budget. So moving on, I need dumbbells. So I also went with Repins, the 105. That's $1,200. That's going to cover all my dumbbell needs there. Bench, I just wanted to go with, again, the stuff I truly can't afford. So I went with the Rogue Manta Ray, $1,000 bench. Heck yeah. Throw it in there. I was just having a good old time in this little build out. After that, I was like, let's go get the Prime Fitness leg extension, leg curl plate loaded. That's $4,500. It didn't fit my $10,000 budget. So I thought the Bulletproof Isolator is a step up from your standalone units. Like I have the Titan leg curl leg extension. I love it. But the Bulletproof, I be able to do like everything that allows you to do. So I threw that on there, $900, and then I was like, oh shoot, I don't have a bar or plates. So I threw the bar on there, the Texas Power Bar 29 millimeter for $295. I went over like $200. So then I thought like, okay, if I'm really going to be like pressed to this budget to like get everything, well then I'm going to take off like a couple rows of those rack storage on my PR 5000, save myself like $300 and go get some homegrown bumper plates as well. So that's the way I would go. I would cut corners a little, not cutting corners obviously with that rack, but yeah, that's the route I would go with. And if you just had these, let's see, 2, 4, 6 things and some plates, I think you'd be pretty set the rest of your home gym lifting life.
Yeah. So I think I started during the day, and I think you whipped this up really quick. So I think you have a few things that I had first, and like over the day changed out.
Yeah.
So
the game gets cut real short when you throw some of these on there.
Yeah,
I was thinking like $10,000. Let's do it right. Like these are the things that are constantly in my head. Like I want to add on to my rack so bad and build something like this. Like I'm constantly thinking about like, all right, well, I'll just buy a couple uprights and I'll start adding on. So like it's stuff I'm always thinking about. So if I'm given like a dream scenario, like, yeah, do it.
Yeah. So I definitely had the CTM in there as well. It's not currently for sale quite yet, but I had that. I also thought about the Adonis. Let's see. I mean, I feel like if you could also like cut the man array, go with like a rep bench, and then get some plates.
Oh, I could find myself a quick $4,000.
Yeah.
I'd go plate loaded on the CTM, save myself like $300 there. Knock off the bat wings on the rep there, save myself, I don't know, like close to $1,000. The man array, I'd cut that bench price in half. I could even go all the way down to the Crandall Fitness, the adjustable bench 3.0. Fine bench, right? There's $700 extra. Yeah. Could have done a lot to save some money.
Yeah. It kind of shows you how hard it is to build out a quality home gym in a super price effective way. We talked about doing this next week again, but with $5,000. Mm-hmm. We should do that, but it's gonna be hard.
I'm gonna try to do all of these things that you're looking at, but like different companies, different makes, and see how you can do the pretty similar, but half the price. That's my goal.
All right, so we'll do that next week. All right, let us know in the comments whose setup you like better. I definitely am jealous of the lat pull down / low row you've got. All right. Anyways, all right. Home
Look at
gym
that rack.
con.
You see that rack?
So I was surprised that was only 3,700. Not only, but that was
Pretty good. I
Not
just
bad.
clicked on everything. I was doing rack builders. Like, yep, I want that. Yep, I want that. What's the price? All right, yeah, throw it in the cart. Yeah.
I will say so. I played around with all of the websites. I've played around with a number of websites and like the rack builders, and Reps is the best. Like there's
so
like,
fun.
Yeah, they like just the fact that you see exactly what you're going to get as you like build it out. Yeah, it's very easy to do and very impressive. All right, moving on. So this chart or this page might be a little bit hard to read, and I did cut off the title, but so it's very hard to understand. But we are slowly but surely going through all of the current vendors. There are 84, and we are filling up the map. So here on the left, you'll see just kind of a broad overview of the entire map. And then on the right is more of a zoomed in. Everybody's filling up at the front and then the middle. But it is slowly making its way up to the back. So I don't know how much I should go into this, because we could kind of take this pretty deep. But there's a pretty solid section there right in the middle with ATX and Rep and a bunch of companies forming around them. Also, same thing is happening above with Rogue. So, yeah. So there's just kind of there's some patches forming around the very large booths. So, and then Rogue actually went from 1,000 square feet to 1,600 square feet. So they recently updated their the space as well. Rep actually has 1,800 square feet, so they have the biggest booth, and then ATX is right behind them at 1,500. Bulletproof is also signed up for a 1,500 square foot booth, but they're not on the map quite yet. Yeah, so stay tuned.
It's been fun to watch this map fill out. That's for sure.
You know, I haven't gotten any feedback, but like it's very hard to see some of these on like the Instagram story. So I'm kind of wondering what's the best way to do this going forward. Like I want to make it better, but not exactly sure how. But anyways, that's our home gym con update. And I will say we also earlier or last week the Olympic weightlifting meet has been finalized, or it's live for people to sign up, and so is the strongman. So both of those are moving to 2-day events. Last year there were 40 Olympic weightlifters. As we move to the bigger city and just as the convention grows, the goal is to get 112 people, which would be pretty awesome. And then for the strongman, I can't remember how many we had last year, but it's also, I want to say around 50, 60. That is also moving to a 2-day event to spread it around. So there'll be action in both those areas all day. And then we'll have some more competitions official. We have them saved, but they're not ready for people to sign up yet. So stay tuned for that as well. All right, next up, new products. So the first one here is the Feather Barbell addition to the VTS. So originally with the VTS, you attached a barbell, but this one is a little bit easier to adjust, and then also should include a lower starting weight as opposed to just using your barbell. I like how Bulletproof is continuing to just kind of release some core products and building around them after some feedback is given. I'll also mention here real quick that I joined their Facebook group, the Bulletproof Facebook group, and it's very active. And there's tons of like early adopters who are just like really passionate about the products and basically help everybody with all of their questions. It's a very good group. It's like definitely
smart for a product like Bulletproof.
Yes, and I've been a part of it for a few months, and it's been impressive since I first joined. It's like I would say it's what any company that's building products would aspire to have. So kudos to Bulletproof for that. Rep released a few flooring options, so some puzzle tiles and then commercial rolls. I did price out, so the puzzle tiles, which are more relevant to I think most home gym owners, are they are about a half as thick and then also double the price as horse stall mats. So they will definitely be easier to set up, easier to move around, better looking, but you know, it is the issue with it is why horse stall mats are still the flooring to beat. Bells of Steel added a utility seat. Rogue created a bike called the Milo, which
when is the Rogue Invitational? Is that like a planned thing where like it's probably going to be seen?
I imagine. Yeah.
Okay.
I imagine it's going to be something like that, and it really does look cool. I'm not like a big bike guy, and this looks cool. It's from Rogue. It's using like the it's not using a chain. It's using like the Echo Bike, a belt drive for Echo Bike, so it should be like easier to maintain. I mean, I bet it's cool. They partnered with like very impressive bike maker, bike designer. So I don't know, if I had money to blow, I would definitely buy one. And then the VEC speed pins from Surplus Strength. So these are speed pins, but they include a hole at the edge where you can put like a carabiner in and attach like bands or henny straps or whatever. You can get creative with it. So they're pretty cool. I think it's a cool option. I definitely foresee people knocking this off as well. Like the speed pins, as they continue to evolve, it seems like people just kind of knock off feature after feature after feature. But props to Surplus for being the kind of creator of these VEC speed pins. And lastly, let's run through some data. So we asked, what social media platform influences your home gym purchasing decisions the most? So this one I was relatively surprised with. And you also do have to keep in mind that we asked it on Instagram. So you might get a little extra boost for Instagram, considering we're asking on Instagram. But I do think the gap between Instagram and YouTube was larger than I expected. So 55% said Instagram influences most of their home gym purchasing decisions. YouTube was about 21 percentage points behind with 34%, and they were both ahead of Reddit, Discord, and Facebook. So Reddit and Discord combined for just under 6% of the votes, and then Facebook only 5% of the votes, where I also thought Facebook might get more because of like the Facebook group from Garage Gym Reviews, but not too high. Next up, if you were to buy a rower today, which would you go with? So this was pretty fresh off so this was pretty fresh off of the Rogue release, but Concept 2 was very, very dominant. So the options here were either the Concept 2, the Rogue, a Hydro, or like any of the more tech options, and then other. So other, I'm thinking like Zebex, Bells of Steel, Force USA. So those sorts of rowers. Concept 2 received 72% of the votes. Rogue received 19% of the votes. Other 6%, and then like the Hydro type options, only 3%. We asked the same thing with the air bike. So if you were to buy an air bike today, we had different options. We had Assault, Rogue, Other, and then Titan / Bells / Fringe. Probably should have put in Zebex right there as well, but you get the point. Rogue dominated this one, though, with 59% of the votes. Assault did receive more than I think I expected. They had 25% of the votes. Other 9%, and then the Titan / Bells / Fringe option 7%. So Rogue very dominant, Concept 2 very dominant in that other one. We should do this again with some other ones. I think this was kind of a cool survey. So I'll think of some more for next week. But any surprises with any of those data questions, Mr. Adam?
Well, I thought about the Instagram and YouTube one, like where are you getting most of your influence from? I also was surprised, but I think it might be the honest answer though, because if it works for others, how it works for me is I see a lot of things on Instagram and then I want to pursue them further through like YouTube and stuff like that. So like Instagram is like my original, like, I don't know how you want to call it, like the bait, and then YouTube would be like the hook to get me or whatever. So yeah, I was also surprised it was so big. And then I thought about it and I was like, well, that's more of an honest answer if I think about like what like first attracts me to a product. Probably be Instagram.
Yeah.
And I was surprised about the rower data. I thought Rogue would be getting more love on that. I thought the Rogue rower looked great. I thought people said it performed pretty similarly, but 72%, like that's a huge margin. Yeah, I guess I expected Concept 2 to still be winning in that, but not like that.
Yeah. I I was surprised at the dominance too. I was surprised at the amount of people that voted other. Way less than I think, especially considering the rogue option is almost like the other, and then that rogue had so many more votes than other already after it was just released for a week.
Yeah.
So
it's the hot one right now.
But yeah, I mean, we can conclude, but I will say my first impressions video or the podcast we did last week.
Yeah.
Most of it still stands. It's a very solid rower. It's a few $100s cheaper than the Concept 2. The Concept 2 does, to me, it does seem like a more refined product. Maybe a little bit better quality in general, but a $200 gap is definitely substantial. So, I would recommend it for the price, but, Concept 2 is still king or queen or
you decide. King or queen?
You decide.
Sweet.
All right.
Well, that's going to do it for us. If you like tonight's episode, be sure to keep your eye out for new episode releases wherever you listen to podcasts. And be sure to follow Knurled News. Are you not subscribed yet? Why the hell not? Check out the link below and sign up for all your home gym content. I love getting my Knurled News. You will too. Guys, Home Gym Con is coming up in June. We want to see you there. It's in Louisville, Louisville, or Louisville. However you decide to say it, we want to see you there. Get your tickets now. Also, get your reservations at the Galt House. That's where we're all staying. Yeah. And be on the lookout for those updates. Jake, do you have anything else for the listeners there?
Nope.
All right, guys. We'll catch you next time. Thanks for listening, and goodbye.